My cat wouldn't stop meowing at the door, so I decided that I would introduce her to you guys. I realized I'd never shown her on camera before. But yeah, this is my cat. Her name is Bo. If you follow me on Snapchat, you've probably seen pictures of her because she's the only thing I Snapchat because I have no life. But she's really fluffy and she loves being cuddled. She's also really heavy, so I'm gonna put her down now. Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm going to be talking about my most highly anticipated book releases for fall 2016. So I've actually never made one of these videos before, but this fall there are several books that I'm highly anticipating, so I decided that I may as well make one and talk about all of them with you guys. So I have 10 books to talk about, and I've listed all of them in order of publication date, so without any further ado, let's get into all of them. So the first book on my list comes out very soon, in fact, and that is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series, and this book comes out on September 6th. I've been anticipating Empire of Storms since I read Queen of Shadows last September, so it's been pretty much a year of waiting for this book to come out. There are people who have already read Empire of Storms, and there have been a lot of spoilers anywhere on the internet like Twitter and Tumblr, so I've been trying to avoid those to the best of my ability, but I unfortunately have been spoiled for a couple of things here and there. And I'm of course not going to mention any of them, but honestly some of them are very disappointing to me if they're true. So I honestly don't know how I'm going to feel about this book. I kind of have a complicated relationship with the Throne of Glass series. When I first started reading the series, I was absolutely in love with it. I loved the world, the characters, the ships, everything. But then when I read Queen of Shadows, I kind of started to reevaluate my opinion on the series overall because I really wasn't a fan of that one, and it kind of undid some of the things that I loved in the previous books. Now I'm just kind of iffy about the whole series, but nonetheless I am excited to see where this series goes and what is going to happen to Dorian, because right now he is my favorite and I need him to be okay. So the next release that I'm also highly anticipating also comes out on September 6th, and that is The Graces by Lori Eve. So The Graces is a fantasy novel about this world where there are these people called the Graces, and the Graces are essentially just these witches, and they're really mysterious and powerful, and the main character of this story is really enticed by them, and she wants to know more about them, and I think she ends up at some point joining up with them or something, and then she discovers more about what the Graces really do and what they're all about. I just saw in the synopsis that it's about witches, and I honestly haven't read a good witch book, I don't think, ever in my life, so this one just seemed really interesting to me, and the cover of it is also just gorgeous. So I'm excited to pick this one up and see what I think of it, and fingers crossed that it ends up being really good, because I would love to read a very fun witch book. The next book on my list is Vasa in the Night by Sarah Porter, and this book comes out on September 20th. So Vasa in the Night is a fantasy novel that takes place in Brooklyn, New York, but it's based on Russian folklore. So it's like a magical version of Brooklyn, and we follow the main character named Vasa who lives in this magical version of Brooklyn, and there's a witch who has put a curse on the entire neighborhood, and it's Vasa's job to try and undo this curse. I think you can kind of see a theme through my anticipated books. I'm really into witches right now. I don't really know what it is. I think it's because October is coming up pretty soon. That being said, I'm really excited for this book to come out. It already has some great reviews on Goodreads, so I can't wait to pick it up for myself and see what I think. The next book on my list is probably my most highly anticipated release out of all of these, and that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, the second and final book in the Six of Crows duology. And this book comes out on September 27th. I read Six of Crows last month and fell in love with it, and now I'm currently making my way through the Grisha trilogy because I just love that whole world so much. And now Crooked Kingdom is coming out this month, and I'm so excited for it. I need to know what happens with the dregs. I need to know everything that happens. I'm also kind of terrified because there are some rumors going around about what's gonna happen with some of the characters, and I don't want anything bad to happen to any of them because I love them all so much. I'm also going to one of the stops on Leigh Bardugo's tour for Crooked Kingdom. I will be at the event on October 2nd. I will leave the information for it down in the description box as well as all the other tour dates. So if any of you are attending that event, definitely let me know because I would love to meet you guys and talk to you about Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom and just the Grishaverse because I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with it all. So the next two books I have to mention are not actually new releases, as in they're not new books, they're just new editions of these books. And the first one I actually didn't know about for the longest time, and I just recently found out about it, and I was tweeting about it on Twitter a little while ago, so if you follow me on there, you've probably already seen me talk about this because I was so excited. But that is a new edition of The Night Circus, and this is being released on October 4th. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you know about my obsession with The Night Circus. I currently own 3 copies of this book, and I'm trying to collect every edition of this book, at least all the ones that are written in English. It's my favorite book of all time, so when I saw that there was a new edition coming out, I freaked out. I am so excited for this new edition. The cover is absolutely gorgeous. It captures the essence of the book. I can't really say if I like it better than the original cover or not. I feel like I like it pretty much equally. It's just so beautiful, and I'm so excited for this. And the next book that's a new edition that's being released is the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and this is also being released on October 4th. The illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out last year in October, and for the next pretty much 7 years, they're releasing an illustrated edition of each of the Harry Potter books, and the second one is coming out in October, and I am so excited for it. I absolutely loved the illustrated edition of the first book. I reread it last year, and it just made me fall in love with the story all over again. So I'm really excited for the second one to come out. I want to see the artwork so badly. It just brings another dimension to the whole story, and it's just so beautiful, so I can't wait for this release. The next book on my list I actually already have an arc of, which I'm super excited about because I get to read it really soon, and that is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. And this book comes out on November 1st. So this book follows 2 teenagers, Natasha and Daniel, and Natasha's family is about to be deported to Jamaica. And the day before her family is supposed to be deported, she runs into Daniel, and the two of them meet, and they instantly click and potentially fall in love. I'm usually not the biggest fan of contemporary, but I read the synopsis for this and I just fell in love with it. It sounds like it's going to be an absolutely beautiful story, and I'm really interested to see what happens with Natasha and Daniel. I haven't even read the book and I already kind of care about these characters, so I feel like that's a good sign and a good reason to want to read it. So I'm going to be picking this one up very soon, and look out for my review, which should also be coming pretty soon, because I just cannot wait to start this one. So the next book on my list I also already have an arc of, and that is Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and this book comes out on November 8th. So Heartless is kind of like a retelling / an origin story for the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. It tells the story of the Queen of Hearts before she was the Queen of Hearts, and what led her to become the Queen of Hearts and become Heartless. I just love villain origin stories, so this just sounds absolutely wonderful to me, and I cannot wait to read this one as well, and luckily I get to read it very soon, so this one will also be another review that will be coming your way soon, so definitely look out for both of those reviews. The next book on my list is The Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare. This is basically just like a collection of short stories that have already been released online, but this is the bind-up version of them, and this book comes out on November 15th. I've actually yet to read any of the stories that have been released online, even though a lot of people said you should probably read it before you read Lady Midnight, but I don't have an e-reader, so I don't really read many ebooks, so I just decided that I'd wait for the bind-up edition to come out, so I'm very excited to finally get to read it. I've heard that it's very Simon-based, and Simon is one of my favorite characters from the Mortal Instruments series, so I'm really excited to see what this one is all about and read it in anticipation for Lord of Shadows, the next book in the Dark Artifices series. And finally, the last book on my list that I am highly anticipating is another Harry Potter release, and that is the screenplay for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and this book comes out on November 18th. This book is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the written screenplay for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the film, and I think that I'm going to be doing like a review, a double review. So after I read it and watch the film, I will just combine my review all in one to see what I thought of it. Even though Cursed Child was not my favorite thing, I feel like I will end up enjoying this one a lot more because first of all, this was actually written by J.K. Rowling, so that's a plus. Nonetheless, I'm just excited for all of the Harry Potter that is coming out this year. You can never have too much of that in my opinion, so that's always a great thing. So that is it for all of my most highly anticipated book releases for fall 2016. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your most highly anticipated releases are for the fall. I would love to read through them. There will probably be some that I will want to add to my list because I'm always looking for new books to read. Also, don't forget to let me know if you will be attending the Crooked Kingdom event on October 2nd, because again, I would love to meet you guys and talk to you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!